Hello there. Well, here we are again. And today I would like to show you how I did my most recent graphic novel book with Dark Horse Comics called Primordial. It came out a little bit over a year ago. It's my newest book, and as are most things that are the most recent for me, it's my favorite book. I think I've been making comic books and graphic novels for about 30 years, and I just now finally feel like I'm getting it. I used to way overwrite my stories, way too complicated. I had so many ideas I wanted to express, and I've learned over time that it's really better to make it simple, or keep it simple, stupid, as I seem to recall somebody saying once. So anyway, Primordial it takes place in the underwater world, and it's in the prehistoric time, which I don't think we've seen before. We've always seen prehistoric creatures, dinosaurs and whatnot, in the land, on the land and in the air, but we've not explored the ocean realm of the prehistoric world, which is what my book does. And it's basically a simple concept that you probably heard before, the fish out of water story. And in this case, the fish is a humanoid creature of a race of sea people that are often referred to as mer people, or mermen, or mermaids. But this is a humanoid race. It lives underwater, and they breathe through their gills. And the story begins when one of the characters, named Nilar, he starts having trouble breathing through his gills underwater, and he actually needs air periodically now to keep his body alive. So he's literally a fish that can't survive in water and has to start seeking sources of oxygen to survive. And the people think he's a freak, and they're afraid of this kind of a mutation, so they kick him out of this wonderful city of Lemuria, and he's cast off to the wastelands to try to survive on his own. I won't get too much in the story because it's take too much time, but I wanted to show you how these processes get started, and as many things, it does start with an idea, and then, well, I want to kind of design what the character looks like and start there first. So I went through a lot of versions, and it's kind of funny, but look now, it doesn't really look all that good, but at the time I thought it looked pretty good. But here are some early versions exploring, well, what do these humanoid characters look like? So, as I've often said before, I work in pencil and paper in the old analog style, but I kept working on different versions of what the character would look like, and I was never satisfied with it. And then a friend of mine suggested going really kind of cartoony with the guy, and so I kind of came up with that idea, and we pitched it to Cartoon Network, but then I just didn't like that version, and it came back to him being a humanoid again. And then this was the version that finally sort of stuck with me. And it's based on an actor, James Coburn, for any of you out there who know who that is. I kind of used James Coburn's likeness, and then I did some research on turtles and started designing his sea turtle companion, and that led to more and more variations. And then finally, I came up with this idea of what the sea turtle looked like, but then I had the wrong character in it, so I had to combine the newest version of the character with the newest version of the sea turtle. And then you sort of start with, for me, I don't write the script first. I write general ideas of how the story goes, but I like the story to unfold through my drawing as opposed to through my script writing. So What you see here are thumbnails of pages. Pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just scribble real rough, simple compositions and try to develop the story. I make copious notes and be sure to do this, be sure to do that. It's actually kind of amazing how much paperwork I generate to lay out my story. And then eventually I know exactly what I want to do. And then here's like a typical finished page. Or let me show it to you a little bit better here. Sorry for all the camera movement. But this is a big, there's my hand. And here's an example of a finished pencil page. And so this particular story had 120 pages. So 120 big pieces of artwork. Each page, I'd say, took me a day. Sometimes I could do a page and a half in a day, but not that fast. Somebody like Jack Kirby could draw 6 pages a day. Oh, there's Barkley. We're going by Barkley. And so the finished pages, as you've probably guessed by now, they go into the scanner. And from the scanner, they go into the computer. So in the computer, I work in Photoshop. And then here's a page that I scanned in, and this is the pencil version of it. And what you do is you work in layers, and so here's the pencil layer on top, and then here's a color painting that goes underneath it. And then you combine the pencil layer on the top with the color painted version on the bottom, and then there's the finished artwork. So then from the finished artwork, you're going to get it again now. There I am. Oh my God. So from the finished artwork, all being done, I then write the final script, and it goes to the editor. The editor suggests changes, the editor being the editor at Dark Horse Comics. And then it comes back to me for final improvements, and then it goes to the letterer. The letterer on a separate layer does all the word balloons and everything. And then they ask me to do a cover and editorial content in the book. And then finally, the book is ready to go to press. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. It's very exciting to get the final book. And you can just see different pages of it. Now, what does that page look like that I just showed you on my computer? Well, there it is there. So, I've briefly described a long process that takes months and months and compressed it into minutes and minutes, but that's Primordial, my most recent book. I'm working on some new books right now that'll take a year or two more to complete, but I just thought you might find it interesting. You just might find it interesting to see how a book like this is done. So thank you for taking a look, and if you have any questions, I look forward to hearing from all of you, and we'll see you next time. So long.